Best Bites Forever.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Alicia, and today I'm making a stuffed loaf sandwich. This is a really great way to get rid of, the leftover chicken that you have, like you roasted chicken one night and then everybody eats all their favorite little parts off of it, like the breast and the legs, and the next thing you know, you kind of have this leftover chicken carcass thing and you're not really sure what to do with it. This is what you do with it. Enjoy!
I'm going to start off by cutting a lid in my little bread bowl here. To do that, I'm just following the lines that somebody conveniently put here for me when they baked this. So I'm going to cut a nice little square lid and just turn your knife flat ways and cut it off this. So you have, see, ta-da, there's my little lid. The next thing I'm going to do is hollow this loaf out. I'm going to be pretty careful when I do this because I would like to be able to use the bread that is inside. So here it is, all nice and hollowed out. And just to give you an idea of something to do with the bread that's on the inside, today I'm slicing mine into cubes and I'm going to set that to the side, and tomorrow I'm going to make panzanella out of the stale little bread cubes. The next thing that I'm going to do is chop up some mixed greens. This is a combination of baby Swiss chard, baby spinach, and baby kale. And I'm going to say that I'm using around 6 cups, but really I just grabbed 2 big handfuls out of the bag of the mix. So there they are, into the bowl they go, along with 2 tablespoons of capers. The next thing I'm going to add is 15 Kalamata olives. And I'm going to kind of chop these up, not really tiny, but like that. And into the bowl they go, along with 3 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. The next thing that I'm going to do is deal with this chicken. So let's just pretend you had dinner last night and it was roast chicken, and somebody ate the legs and somebody else ate the breasts. So I'm removing those, and what I'm left with here, the meat I'm pointing to, is the tenders and all of the meat off the bone. So you still have those 2 breasts and those 2 legs, although there was only one there on screen, and that's because my husband ran off with one of them. But like I said, the rest of the meat was just the meat off of the bones and so forth. Now I'm adding 2 cups of hot marinara sauce. It's really important that this is hot when you add it because it kind of starts to cook down the greens, and it also gets your cheese, ready to get nice and melty in the oven. So get that nice and stirred together, and it's going to look like this. Now back over to our loaf. I'm putting a garlic butter in here, and it's about 1/4 cup of butter, so 4 tablespoons, and I would say 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic, and I'm just brushing it all inside. The next thing that I'm going to do is add my filling. So when you're doing this, it's important to stop every few minutes and mash your filling up against the edges of the loaf. If you don't do this when you cut it, it's not going to have any filling on the edges. So make sure that you're taking the time to stuff the loaf. Stuffed loaf sandwich, right? So make sure that you're pushing those greens and the filling, the chicken, whatever, all the way up against the edges. Once you have your loaf beautiful and full like so, put the lid on it and put it into the oven. And I'm going to cook this on 375 for about 20 minutes, and when it's all finished, it's going to look like this on the inside.